Where do we go from here? What is going on, everyone? Jeremy Ritz here. Courage pays better than fear, trading with another episode of Driven here on this Wednesday, August 26th. Have to check the watch. And we all know what today is. Today is NVIDIA earnings day at close. We already got the data that we were anticipating at 8:30. GDP, PCE, personal income, personal spending saw a negative reaction from that data. The market's a little bit red at the time that I'm recording this, but it doesn't matter because it's all about NVIDIA. So when you're watching this, the report may have already dropped and we could be seeing the consequences of the earnings report. And I just wanted to do my final take here on what potentially the outcome is going to be. And here's the thing. If you go, and I shared this with the community today, if you go back to February of 2024, that December, you had the AI stocks, semiconductor stocks start to rip, NVIDIA being one of them. I mean, heading into that report for NVIDIA, there were 4 consecutive red days, I believe. It might have been 3, but I think it's 4. And it dropped and had a pullback, and everybody was saying, this is it. This is the end of NVIDIA. The market's coming down. It found support on the 20 EMA on the daily chart. And when the results were first announced, there was follow through on the selling. It dropped even more. But whenever Jensen Huang got on the earnings call later that evening at 5:30 p.m. and started to talk about the results, the stock rallied. And then from there, it pushed higher. It was a big runner. And so the reason I share that is because it's not over until it's over. Or in this case, it's not over until the earnings call. So whatever that initial response is off of the numbers being released, just be patient and watch, right? Because it does not mean that's going to be the full move. And we've seen many times, I'm sure you have seen, where there's a huge pop on a ticker and it just gets wiped out thereafter. So that can happen, or you see a huge drop lower and then it pops. So just don't buy into literally the initial move because there's lots of information that has to come out. The last thing that I want to point out, and I talked about this in the earnings preview videos that I've done, I did 2 of them for NVIDIA this time, is that since May of 2024, NVIDIA has not gapped up, held, and moved higher. It's either been a gap down or a gap up, and then it was faded lower and it dragged the entire market down. So take that into consideration, right? If you're going with the trend, what the pattern has been on NVIDIA earnings, expect it to sell off, expect it to bring the entire market down. I think that's what the majority, the masses believe about NVIDIA. I don't think there's anybody out there saying, oh, they're going to crush it. They're going to pop higher. Everybody knows they're going to have great numbers, but that's not what it's about. It's about, can they be perfect? Can they expand their margins? Their margins are over 71%. That's insane. And so they're a victim of their own success. So those are the things that I'm watching. And here's what I'll point out in a couple things. One, if NVIDIA reports strongly, powerful forward guidance, we see there's numbers go up. Let's say that they share some metric or something that nobody was anticipating, some surprise catalyst that will lift everything. You'll see everybody go bonkers. You'll see lots and lots of money flowing to the markets. You'll see new all-time highs across the board, right? But think about that. That's so difficult for that to happen, right? So positive NVIDIA, positive for everything else. Now, here's the thing. If the street does not like NVIDIA's numbers, or coming down, right? Everything's coming down across the board. You're going to hear the AI bubble discussion increase, all those things, and the fear will creep back into the market. We'll see large drops across the board. You'll have everybody talking about, oh, here we go, bear market, yada, yada, yada. And we'll get some selling, which is not a bad thing because, quite honestly, we need a reset. But the one thing that I'm wondering here, if, let's say, NVIDIA reports positively, because they will, and barring any crazy number or metric, whatever, but they still get knocked down, does that give some strength to companies like AMD, their competitor? Does it give some strength to companies like Marvell or other companies in the chip space? So I'm wondering that if we see, yeah, NVIDIA goes down, but the overall sentiment of the report is positive for chips and semis in general, then I'm looking to see if some of these other companies can get some love and some movement higher. So I'm watching for that. What do I think is going to happen? I could be wrong, and I'm wrong all the time. I'm okay with that, right? That's just part of being in the markets, being a trader. I can't go against I believe it's 6 or 7 earnings reports in a row of gap downs, gap up, fade lower, with as extended as we are on the charts, with as overvalued as everything is, with all the fears of an AI bubble, with the issues with the bond market, with the war between Iran and the United States, all those things. I can't go against that. I've got to stick with the evidence. And the evidence says they're coming lower. Unless there's some taco, we get a peace deal, blah, 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 before the report. You know how that stuff works, but I just don't see it happening right now. Like I said, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong for all the bulls out there and for your portfolios. But again, the short-term disruption in this bull market is not a problem. It will open the door for some other sectors, cool off that AI trade a little bit more, and then pop from there. So that's what I got you. My final thoughts on NVIDIA. Let's see how things play out, what happens. And probably, like I said, by the time you're watching this, we'll have our answer. And then really quickly, just an update on the Ironman for where things are. I am, let's see, it's the 26th. The race is the 19th of September. So I got 24 days, guys. 24 days. Physically, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. All the hard workouts are banked. Any workouts now are just maintenance and recovering for the race. So we'll see. I'm not going to lie. Holding a fast bike pace has me a little concerned if I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm trying to be conservative in what my times are going to be, what I'm going to go out and aim for. So I'm in the process now of figuring that out. But I want to just thank you for all your support along the way this past 8 months training for this race. And I can't wait to share the results with you. I'm going to finish for the Courage community. Like I said, I'll have a video posted when it's done. And I tell you what, it's weird because my exercise is stepped back this week. So it's like I'm used to working a full-time job, Ironman training. And so to have it step back is a little weird, not gonna lie. So anyways, with that said, in the meantime, in between time, wherever you may be in this marvelous, spectacular, magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, happy, special, singular, and I can't think of anything else, world, I hope you are doing well, sending positivity, peace, love your way. And let's close with the 3 most important things. Make it a great day, honor the moment, and as always, be grateful. Take care, everyone. See you back here for the next episode of Joe.